so Powerplay. You probably know tons more about Powerplay than I do. But
Yeah. I have been engaged in Powerplay for the last like 2 years.
aha, you're deep into it then. What
Powerplay is actually
different?
kind of my
Hello
first
there.
job. AX is a secondary job to make money for Powerplay,
Uh-huh.
and that's something most people don't understand about Powerplay. You don't make money in it, you expend money, and it's like a lot of money.
Is that
And
why
when I'm
you're a
saying
multi-billionaire?
Yeah. So for perspective, they show us some stuff, but I think they don't have the presentation from Simon. I think Simon is the tech lead for Powerplay stuff, and he got sick, and Luke filled in for him. And Luke is more like a tech guy on the backend side for BGS, so he didn't know how to explain a lot of stuff. But the clip that they show for us shows so much, especially the Galaxy map.
Okay, let me pull that up because I have that as well.
Yeah.
There's the galaxy map.
So for people that are not familiarized with Powerplay, what we can do now is mostly two things. We can do combat and we can haul stuff for the Powerplay itself. And by hauling, I mean something that's valuable for that specific Powerplay.
Uh-huh.
In the case of the princess, Ashley in the Wall, we pretty much haul flyers for her. And there are two types of flyers: the media materials and the programming materials. One of them are meant for prepare a system to take over, and the other one is to fortify a system. And it may not look like much when Luke showed this, but this means so much for us in the Powerplay side, because Powerplay is mostly an information game, and we have none inside the game currently.
Right. That's what I thought too. That's why it was
So-
confusing.
Yeah, the galaxy map that we have now show like bubbles of the powers, but don't show important stuff like which systems are being prepared, which systems are being fortified, how is the fortification, how strong they are, their overall influence, their sphere of influence over other systems that generate command capital, which is the main currency for the powers itself. We don't have none of that in the current galaxy.
Right.
And this map show a little better what means to have like spheres of systems by colors. Some of them have like some smidge that show that they are being fortified, others are being prepared, and those information can change the tide of wars in many war systems that we have. Because if we know that something is being prepared in advance, we can fortify that system first. And today, the only way we can do that is having pilots scanning the system and sharing in specific private channels that information, and we can even update NAR on that. That's why we have systems in the bubble like 340 days outdated in NAR.
Oh my
It's not
gosh.
that because anyone passed through that. It's because that system is probably under war for that long. And none of the sites share information. Because it means a lot. And if the map is going to show everything, there will be no need to hide information from each other. Everyone will have everything.
That's true.
I don't think they will show everything to us.
Probably not.
Why? Because of the Targoid War, and that's other thing that they changed, they explained it in somewhat simpler way, but it means a lot. It means that the systems that we take over, we have states just like the Targoid War systems. We have controlled states, alert states, and recovered states for the Targoid War systems. We don't have that in Powerplay. That would change a lot of things in Powerplay.
Yeah,
like
that
everything.
would.
Because by their explanation, we can go from a system that's being a stronghold, and the stronghold can be attacked and changed to something else. So that's pretty much the alert states that we have in Targoid War. But we made it for Powerplay, and they didn't explain like that. It was kind of subtle, and this means a lot, because how can we get a system today? It's pretty much howling flyers. That's what we do. It's boring. The system works, yeah, it works, but it's not amazing. It's very time consuming, and the menu system that we have today, it's not great. Some people even joke about it. It's like a menu simulator to collect the flyers or whatever you are hauling. And it takes a while to fill like 600 tons cargo hold. And when I say a while, it's like 20 minutes. Because the menu system only gives you 50 items top per load. And you need to pay to unlock 50 more.
Oh my gosh.
To fortify a closed system, which is like 10 light years, we take like 5,000 tons. And to haul 5,000 tons, you would expend somewhat like 250 million credits. And you not win a cent for that.
Wow. Okay. All right.
So they show a lot of stuff for us. It was a lot very subtle. There are changes that they didn't show, but we are hoping they change, especially the menu simulator part.
Well,
and
I was wondering. What else?
These stations today, they have very subtle changes when we capture a system.
Right.
For example, if you get into a system that is controlled by the Imperial side, doesn't matter which one, and you arrive at the station, and you are aligned with the faction of that station, usually the sound will go like, this Imperial station welcome you, Commander, make your stay as long as you can. Now, if you go to a federal system and you try to go into the station, they will say something like, welcome to this Federation station, Commander. Make your stay as short as you can.
Wow.
They cut it off.
So
and
true.
It's very subtle. If you don't do Powerplay, you don't notice this kind of stuff.
I don't notice that.
And the changes that they show for us individual, they're like very not subtle anymore.
No, that was interesting to me because I wasn't sure if we were already seeing that. I guess I didn't really pay attention because I didn't really participate, because they were saying it was kind of on hold and they weren't, and it was going to come out later that they were going to rework Powerplay. And I thought, well, okay, so I'm not going to even pay attention right now, but I guess I should. I guess I should be, especially,
Powerplay, it's a very complex system with many layers. And most of the layers, a lot of commanders that are not engaged in it don't notice it. For example, the holograms with ads that we can see in the station.
Right.
If you are in a system that's deep in some Powerplay sphere of influence. Sometimes they will show like the cover photo for that power play. So let's say you are in Cubio or somewhere around Cubio.
Mm-hmm.
That's the headquarters for Ashley in the Val.
Yeah.
Sometimes those holograms will show her photo, like her profile photo. That's very subtle,
Right.
and that's kind of the only thing that we have in the stations today. Sometimes a hologram will show something in the ground, and maybe if you stay around long enough inside the station, they will say something like, "Prepare for war. Ashley in the Val is the future of the Empire." And the station's been saying that for like a year now. Some people are actually worried because of all the drama in the Imperial family and everything.
Right.
And my point here is, I'm very engaged in Powerplay,
Mm-hmm.
but from the Imperial side.
Right.
And that's something that's bad right now. Why? We don't have a clue about what the other sides are doing, because 90 to 95% of the information is hidden. Both sides are very careful to not share too much information. They don't update in our information. They don't share anything on the EDSM side. There are private channels in a lot of Discords for each power play that a lot of commanders don't have access to.
Oh my gosh.
And in their explanation, it seems that a lot of information will become public and in real time.
That's scary.
So
That's
it
very
means
scary.
that we will know what the other sides are doing kind of in real time. And that's a huge change from what we have today.
I feel like it's gonna get more aggressive probably. That's probably why we
hope
get the
so.
Python Mark II. Tyru,
I
you said
hope
you
so.
want us to. It might have a banner hanging module. Tyru, Phaser, hello, Seven, and thank you. It's good to see you. I am back. Electrofunk, hello. Tayhawk, 07.
What's up,
You wouldn't know.
Razer?
Oh, Tayhawk wants to know more about the Python Mark II. We don't know anything yet. I don't think. Unless they, I don't think they
we
talked
know-
about it.
Yeah, I think we know two things that's kind of important. It's a ship designed for player versus player combat
Right.
to be able to face the current meta ships, meaning the Furtherlands and Mamba. And from that we can assume at least two things. It's going to be very agile and fast ship. If it's not going to compete with the Furtherlands.
Oh, that's right.
They said something about having 6 utility slots and 6 hard points.
Right.
That we know. How is going to be the flight model? We have no idea. But I think it was Arf that said it would feel different from the other ships that we have in the game now.
Okay,
He said something about that.
that leads me to this question. This drive component from the Titans, some people are saying, is it connected to the Python Mark II in some way? Like that, like what you're talking about there.
Yeah. I hope that will be connected in the sense that will be the first ship of the 5th generation ships. We have ships divided in generations. Most people don't know that. We are currently in the 4th generation, and this meaning the release of the Great Mark II and the C series for the Alliance. The C series was meant for combat, specialized in fast-paced combat for anti-Xeno combat, but that's not like inside the game. It was a note from a Frontier later on. And the C series is the Chieftain, Crusader, and Challenger.
Right.
So those are like fourth generation chips, and Python would be the first of the fifth generation, and it would be the only chip able to use the new technology for the drives. Whatever those drives would be.
Whatever that is.
And why do most of us think that? It's because when the C series was released and all of them used the 5A frameshift drive, we got the frameshift drive V1 released.
Oh,
the first
that's
version
right.
of the V1.
Yeah.
It was the same time.
Oh my gosh, that's wild.
It's a lot of tinfoil on that. It can beat the release of the Python Mark II, but I don't think it will be like right now. I think we have the CG going, something will happen, the Alliance will get involved, they always get involved in something because of Sirius, and later down the line we'll see designs for a new ship that will be the Python Mark II.
Oh, that's right.
So,
there's more than just the Python Mark II coming out.
Yeah, because it's 4 ships, right? 4 new ships.
I think it's 4
not
new
just the
ships.
Python.
Right, right.
So the Python Mark II would be the first ship of the 5th generation, but we already have 3 more ships, and that's total 4, just like the generation before, with a new frameshift drive
Oh my
tied
gosh.
together. It's like a cycle replaying, but if you don't pay attention to the storyline of Elite, you kind of miss some stuff, and it's not an easy storyline to follow up because it's a lot of information everywhere in the bubble.
Well,
and it's
yeah.
not like a special campaign, right, to follow.
It's pretty wild. There's just this is a deep game. There's a lot going on. Wait, Dessert, you said what's the best way to get into Powerplay? Phaser said sign up, pledge to a superpower. It basically for right now, I don't know what's coming this summer. There, there might be some changes there. I don't know. Python is the DeLacy, and likely the others will be different manufacturers. Electrofunk,
Probably.
I'm guessing that to be true. I don't know. I'm really curious about it though. There's not really much, coming out about that. Also, somebody was talking about base building. The theory that there's going to be base building. I still don't know, but they're pretty tight-lipped about whatever it is that's going to be the surprise. I don't know.
I really think the surprise would be a more engaging Powerplay system where everyone can actually make some sort of contribution, even a small one would mean a lot. Today, for one commander to actually do a difference is very, very hard, time consuming, and expensive.
Right.
So imagine if you are a new player and you want to help any of the powers. The amount of credits you need to do that and time, it's like not something that new players have. And I'm talking about billions of credits in the span of 2 weeks.
That's a lot.
Something close to, I don't know, 3% influence in a system. And that's not much because 10 players on the other side will dump your progress in 2 days if you're doing it alone. And answering the third question, the best way to get involved in Powerplay is to pledge to a superpower that align with at least one of the things that you like to do in the game. Because, for example, if you align with Ashley Indoval, be sure that you like hauling stuff. That's the only way that you can actually help her. Doing combat means nothing. It would be like comparing to the Targoid War that a lot of people know now.
Yeah.
Imagine that you are trying to take over a controlled system. You can go to that controlled system and start shooting scouts, and maybe after you shot like the the 500 scouts, you'd make like a chevron go up, maybe. But if you
Oh.
go to that same system and collect, let's say, 100 samples, 100 scout samples, you would move like 3 chevrons on that system.
Mm.
It's the same difference for howling stuff in the Powerplay and combat. If you like combat and that's what you like to do, it's preferably that you align to a power that uses that as main source of merits. Because if it's not, you are going to have a hard time helping.
Oh man.
And it's a lot to learn, like what consolidation vote means, what preparation vote means, how your vote influences the pool of decisions inside the power, and what means to prepare a system without the knowledge of the rest of the power play community. That could mean that you are destroying 6 months of preparation if you prepare the wrong system.
Oh my gosh. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
That
so
is.
Powerplay, it's like
Serious.
a huge strategy game inside Elite Dangerous that the people that do it take very seriously.
Mm-hmm. I know.
And if you disrupt the plans,
You're going to die.
yeah, it's not that you are going to die, but they can make your life very hard in the game.
That's what I've heard. I've been threatened before. Oops.
And
Sorry.
it's like, it's just a game in the end, but it's a game that, like, for most of the Imperial factions, we have like 8,000 players active, and it's the effort of 8,000 players
Oh,
that are causing trouble to.
that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
I don't
So-
know. Gotta be careful out there,
Yeah.
everyone.
First, try to figure out what you like to do in the game, that it could also help a certain power. And if you're doing that to help with the power play, cool. But if you're doing for the modules, it's not actually need that you like what you're doing. You can do the basic split to the power, wait 3 weeks, do 1 cargo hum, wait the next tick, buy the modules that you need. The fact.
And then
Usually
get
that's
out.
the basic plan for
Yeah.
getting the power play modules. And usually, if you do that right, you don't hurt anyone that is actually doing power play. And right now, the only mechanics that actually affect power play is howling, whatever material you need to haul, depending on the superpower, combat, but mostly for arc on the lane. The rest doesn't actually benefit with combat, because the goal is to win merits for your superpower, and with merits you are doing something, let's say fortifying a system, and the amount of like fortification you need, it goes up exponentially as farther the system go from the headquarters. So if you're trying to fortify a system 50 light years from the headquarters, that would mean like 16,000 points, and you gain 1 point merit per combat, per kill.
Okay. Oh my
And
gosh.
howling, if you haul 600 tons, you want 600 merits.
Wow. Oh my
So-
gosh.
They showed us a lot of things in the videos, in the talk. It was very subtle. We learned that a lot of the information that we need to gather and keep locked, it's going to change, especially if the information is going to be public in the Galaxy map.
That's gonna be interesting to see what happens with that. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
We have system states, so it will be changing from preparation and fortification to something else that we don't actually understand right now. What the stronghold means, how hard it's It's to get the system from a stronghold to something else, and how powerful are those things that will be guarding the system.
Like this?
Like,
The
this
stronghold carriers?
This looks scary, really.
I'm like, uh, what does it do? I don't know.
Give me 3 hydras. I can fight 3 hydras. That
You
thing
wanna
there in the
fight
video,
these?
I have no idea how to even start with against that.
You
Like-
think it could be a thing where our carriers fight ever? Like our carriers can
Some
be like,
people hope so, and some people believes that we will be able to make certain carriers in 2 strongholds. But disclaimer, we have no evidence for that right now. It's pure speculation. But it would look cool, right?
wouldn't that be cool? Oh my gosh. Like a fleet of fleet carriers going to battle. Oh my gosh. Man, I would be so excited. I just we have all these wonderful ideas of what we think they're going to do. And oh my gosh, I don't even know because they've surprised us with all these other Thargoid things that we didn't expect. And I can't even imagine what the big surprise is going to be this year. Mojo
Yeah.
says the new feature, which we don't know what it is yet, is due out by the end of the year. Yeah. So this summer, we're supposed to get Powerplay 2.0 with the new map, all that, you know, how the map functions is going to be different. What else? I don't even know. I feel like it felt so vague to me. I don't know. Except the videos I'm showing you, this is what they gave to me. And stronghold carriers, that's quite fascinating. I'm very curious about that.
Yeah.
Because they said you can go up to it, and if you're pledged to that power, everything's fine. And then they're just like kind of vague about if you're not pledged to that power, you go up to those. Something might be slightly different. What
Yeah,
is this? What does that mean?
Yeah. I
don't
think
know.
it would feel like certain aspects of the Targoid War that it took some time to get here, like the Spire sites. We
Mhm.
have a whole arc to get the Spire sites. First it's cover something, the planets, then they kind of grow a first time, and then
Mhm.
they grow again, and only then they became the Spire sites that we know.
Right,
And eventually we learned that we could poison them.
right.
So I think it could be the same thing with the new system states for Powerplay, if we can call that.
Oh, we
And
can infiltrate.
infiltrate and maybe disable certain chips or
Yeah.
certain sensors. It could be really cool to do that.
Ooh,
And how
covert.
dangerous, yeah, covert ops or something like that.
Ooh, this is getting interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Currently in the game, we can do spec ops missions, and those spec op missions, there are usually 3 types of them.
Mhm.
We can go to a special installation,
Right.
usually a space one, and scan the data link or
Right.
do the other thing. It's not the hatch breaker, it's like the data one. Do you remember with the limpet?
Yeah.
It's the hacking limpet, I think.
Yeah. Something like that. I
Yeah,
don't know,
and-
but something like that.
We can do those missions, and they actually help with the part of BGS with the focus on taking over systems. But for that to actually work, it would take a lot of players, commanders, doing that in very regular base. So it's a cool gameplay, but doesn't help much currently.
Hmm.
And The second one, we can go to a special installation in certain planets. It's a different layout from what we see in Odyssey. And they usually only have like flying robots, guards, like drones. They don't have any PCs on there.
Right.
And we can scan the data point, get information. It's usually encrypted. We can take to a system controlled by the Powerplay that you are aligned with, and if they have a technology broker in the system, you can decrypt the archives and sell the data to the headquarters, and that would give you like 40 merits. It's a lot of trouble for very little merits.
Oh my gosh.
Again, hauling is just more efficient and fast.
I am so curious to see what, because this has got me interested, and I haven't even. Oh man.
They have a lot of mechanics already
So
in the
much
game.
to do.
They are just not useful right now, and like expanding to a new system, getting a new system, it's a very painful and long process.
Right.
Like, if we as a community pledge to Ashley in the Val, the council decide that we are going to take over a certain system, it's almost 6 weeks of preparation to do that. To put the entire power at war and sink our command capital to negative, and then reduce our losses to take over a certain system and prepare. And the preparation is designed to overthrow the other power, so you need to haul as much as you can. So it's not like cap at 100%. You need to keep going and going and do more than your enemies. So if your enemies did like 70,000 merits, you need to do 80,000 to get the other system.
My gosh. So
If
much
they change
work.
that, would be amazing, and I'm hopeful because the map shows like little details very vaguely. Unfortunately, Luke, the tech leader that we're talking, the UI tech leader, he didn't explain that very well, or maybe he was scared to say something that he shouldn't.
I know, because sometimes they leak stuff they don't
would
mean.
be scared.
I would too. I was really paying attention, and I was like, but I don't feel like I really learned anything. I just felt like I didn't know if they were just trying to keep secrets or what it was. And I think partly there's that because they don't want us to know all this stuff. And then they say too, they want us to just stumble into some of the things. They don't want to tell us how to do everything. You got to figure it out. So that's what's interesting to me. Electrofunk ability to expand into brand new unoccupied systems would be massive. Currently, there's no way to do that with the BGS PP system. The fleet carrier fleets would be a great way. Oh my gosh, y'all. Fleet carrier fleets, though.
Yeah, a little detail to like add into this conversation. You can't store Powerplay special items like the flyers from Ashley in the Val. I can't just store them on my fleet carrier, move my fleet carrier to a SAID system that I'm preparing, and dump the flyers there. We have like special UPS operations inside certain power plays that we have like special fleet carriers designed to move like 100 commanders from near the headquarters to a prepare system at certain times in the week.
Oh my gosh.
We can't dump the flyers in the fleet carrier. We need to move commanders like in person to do that. Because the flyers need to be in the ship's cargo.
Oh my gosh. That's wild.
And if you lose the flyers in this case, or whatever item you are holding, you lose merits. Let's say a pirate interdict you, shoot your ship, damage your cargo head, and you loot 100 flyers, you lose 100 credits. or merits for that.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah,
No
the
pressure.
Powerplay version that we have today is a very complex system with many layers. It takes a while to learn everything and how dangerous certain actions can be, and what's more efficient, what it's not. Yeah, and what's Electropunk said, it's actually true. The flyers have an expiration date.
Yeah, I was gonna
They
say
don't
that.
live forever in your ship.
You can't just go around
Yeah.
like that. Oh my gosh. Ah, there's so much to know.
Yeah.
Ah,
The changes they have shown us made a lot of the community that actually do Powerplay kind of hyped
mhm.
because we were expecting some changes, but nothing like that. It's like
It's gonna be
a
interesting.
lot of small changes that could change everything that we do today.
Wow.
From the systems having special states that we gonna need to work them out to change states and maybe change the tide of the war, and what's going to take and what else they are changing on the Galaxy map beside the UI, and maybe a lot of public information that we don't have today. I have no idea what the Federation is doing right now.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
I don't have
know.
I don't have inside information. I had like until 6 months ago,
Well,
but those people usually they get cut out very fast.
of course.
They're spies. We have spies in each other's
That's what I'm
factions.
thinking.
That's the truth.
I believe it. I was thinking
And
too, because we're still in this Thargoid thing. And I don't know where I heard this. I don't know if it was during the stream or if I read this. But they were talking about we don't really know when the Thargoid War is even going to end because this is all dependent upon our behavior and what we do. And if we figure out the things that they mean for us to figure out. You know how you were talking about before, like there were some things we missed, and then I think eventually we caught on to it, but I never knew what it was that they were talking about that we caught on to. And what else? What other surprises me we have along the way, you know? So we don't really know, even though they said this is kind of the end of the Thargoid War, but it really depends on us and how we handle things. Are we on the right path, do you think?
I think we are in the right path given the information we have, and the information's actually simple. We had 8 motherships killing billions of humans. Our only approach would be to destroy all of them, no
Right.
matter the costs. It's like a kinda all-in situation, but we don't know if that's the expected result. Maybe after we destroy the 4th Titan, the other 4 will leave, like they will
Right.
activate their special drive and try to leave because they were losing. It makes sense to do a
That's what I'm
strategic retreat.
expecting. That because it doesn't
And
make sense to just destroy
at
all,
least
have to
this-
destroy them all. It's silly that they
Yeah.
would even stick around, you know?
Yeah, one more detail. Why would we need a new frameshift drive if it wasn't to follow them wherever they go?
Uh-huh. That's
like
true.
The
Oh man, that's
little
exciting.
detail we are taking from the current community goal.
Uh-huh.
If after the 4th Titan fall, they get destroyed. The other 4 we try to leave and we need to follow them. Would make sense. But that's like pure speculation. The idea is actually we need to destroy all of them. They came, they killed billions of humans, they destroyed systems, stations, they need to get destroyed as soon as possible.
Right.
And we are on the path and trying to work the variables that you need to work to make that happen, like take over the systems, work the alert systems, take over the control systems, and so on, one titan at a time, and maybe we'll destroy the 8 of them. We don't know if they actually are going to try to flee. We don't even know if they can.
Ooh, that's true. I hadn't thought of that. They're stranded.
Actually, yeah, maybe it's like imagine deploying super powerful weapons into an enemy's territory, and you are so confident in your technology that you don't think you are going to lose.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
so
man.
maybe they were never meant to leave.
Well, I kept thinking what a shame it would be for them to all get destroyed just because the structure is, so interesting, But
Yeah.
at the same time, of course, we're supposed to destroy them if we can.
And
I feel like they're gonna leave. It doesn't make sense for them to just stick around. It just doesn't. I don't know. I just don't know.
yeah, it doesn't make sense
It could happen, but it doesn't make sense.
if they were actually taking us serious enough to consider that they could lose.
You think they're that arrogant? Figure says they consider this their galaxy. Maybe they aren't going anywhere. I don't know. Maybe they will just stay there until their complete, destruction. I don't know. Electrofunk says my Powerplay group does Inara background checks.
Yeah, and what that
Holy
means,
cow.
what that entails, it's like it's such a simple phrase, but it means so much because we have this huge layer of information across many third parties tools for lead dangerous, like DSM. We have a lead dangerous market connector transfer information all over the place between sites and everything, and databases and to Inara.
Yeah.
And if we update a system that we weren't supposed to update because that system was being prepared in an undercover way, that could alert the other power to do something about it. And
oh my gosh.
we actually have special squadrons inside Powerplays that does covert operations, meaning special scans in sphere of influences, and don't share that information with Inara, for example. They're sharing special channels between these squadrons, so you can know what to do and when.
Wow.
And if the map changes, that could change so much of what we do and how we do it.
Learn what the heck am I doing, just stumbling around all these places. I might be causing trouble and not realize. Probably I am. Knowing me.
Yeah, the good thing now, it's most of the power plays, the people that are engaged in power play have taken the time to build tutorials in how to teach new players to get the mod list without causing harm. And unless you are doing Odyssey content, usually you can't hard like causing trouble in a system is very hard for one person to do unless you are hauling the power play items. But it is possible to do it. Let's say you go to a system, you find that system interesting, and there is a faction there that I don't know, you like the portrait of the guy or something silly like that, and you start making missions to that faction, that
Mm-hmm.
could cause so much trouble if you get their influence higher than 7%. And it's not much.
Oh my gosh. Ah,
So
got a lot to learn.
they have shown us very little, and at the same time a
A
lot
lot.
for the people that know Powerplay. They just didn't explain in a lot of details
No.
what they were showing. The chains for the stations actually looked really cool,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
because they're very subtle in the current version.
Yeah. Yeah, I was looking at it and I was thinking at first, did we already have that? But then they were talking about graffiti, where people that aren't very happy about things might write stuff in the stations and whatever. So I thought that was interesting because I
Have
don't
you
think we
tried?
see that.
Yeah, the graffiti, I think it's a new thing. We know
Yeah.
they can do it because of the. I think it was back with the Fire God people, right? They did
Right.
some graffiti
Yeah.
in some stations. So it's something that they can do in the game
Yeah.
easily. They already have done it before. So I
Hmm.
wouldn't be surprised that we have actually, I don't know, maybe a system that's in very precarious situation. The power in that system has very little command capital, and their landing pads will be kind of destroyed, graffiti everywhere, trash everywhere. That kind of happens today, but not with the graffiti. So I think
I
they
do
are,
notice the trash everywhere. I always wondered
yeah,
about that. Why they
it's
didn't
power
have it.
play. It's
I
power play
had
stuff.
no idea.
That's
Because
power
there's like
play stuff. That's
pizza and
yeah.
everything.
It's not just power play. I know maybe there are people listening to us that know a lot of power play, but it's not just. It's like one of the side effects about BGS, power play, system economy, system
Right.
states, and like it's a combination of a lot of variables, and
I
that can
knew there had
affect
to be
how an
more.
station looks.
Yeah, I knew there had to be more to that. It can't be just, oh, they just didn't have time to clean up or whatever. I knew there had to be a lot more. Wait a minute. Digger says they've been around for a million years. Timer says Thargoids will be a new power and power play. That's what I was gonna ask about that. How the Thargoids are gonna be a part of this. And Tigger says, and Guardians and Salvation. Oh, there's so much. Uh,
Yeah,
uh
I think
Arthur's pilot is bald. Oh.
yeah,
Have you
I
been dropping your
love
pizza box? Yes, Timer. I'm dropping my pizza boxes everywhere I go.
I love the idea of the Guardians coming back,
Is that
but
a thing? I keep
I
thinking,
don't think they
it,
will.
really?
And from
Ah.
that, I can quote a line from Braben himself during an
Oh.
interview in
Mm.
2016, and he was asked three questions. He was asked about Roxla, and the question was, is Roxla in the game? And he says, yes, of course it is. That
Okay.
was his only answer. So obviously Roxley is in the game. We just
Uh-huh.
don't know what it is
Ah.
or where.
That's so.
And
What a mystery.
yeah, the second question was,
Tigger.
are the Guardians coming back? And Bribit said, not for a very long time.
What is a very long time? What
Probably
does
a new
that mean?
version of Elite Dangerous.
When? I need more.
We have no idea. And
I hate being
the
in the dark.
and the third question, which I think it's the most like it's one of the most important ones in our current situation. It's how powerful were the Targoids
Uh-huh.
and why they are here. And his answer was, this is the Targoids galaxy.
Oof. Oof. They're not
So
going
it's
anywhere.
our galaxy. We evolved here, but
They were here
to
first.
say that it's their galaxy, they were probably here first. So I don't think they're going anywhere. We are sticking with them in the game. It's like part of the main content.
Can we be friends?
A lot of things can change, and I don't think they will blend the Targoid War into Powerplay, because a lot of commanders don't like the Powerplay. The last numbers I
true.
saw for that was like 30% of the player base is involved in AX. It's not like 100, it's just 30%. Most of the players are haulers, traders, pirate
True.
hunting, and exploring the galaxy.
Yeah.
Only 30% of us are fighting. It's not like everyone.
I used to not fight. It's only recent. So
Yeah.
I've played for 7 years and I haven't done power play either. So that just shows you how much there is in this game to do. There's a lot to do.
Yeah.
So, wow, that's deep.
And if that was his answer from that, like from a more, I don't know, like outside the game view, it means that we are going to have target content always in the game. We are not getting rid of them.
Well, that
It's
makes
part
sense.
of the game content.
Well, they're part of. I mean, yeah, that doesn't make sense to just have like this creature suddenly vanish from the galaxy that's been here all this time. That doesn't even really make sense. But that also makes me think the Guardians are coming back too. I'm just saying.
So we have like a lot of changes for power play, even though they may seem subtle. I'm very hopeful that they're going to impact everyone in a good sense. I hope people that didn't do power play until now will get somewhat involved.
I think more will, because they were saying they're going to make it more accessible. It'd be easier to get involved. Gosh, what else? I don't know. I don't know, but I think that's what they said. It would just be easier, and it's gonna just be more engaging.
Yeah, and one thing that Luke, the deck leader that was talking in the video, said that stayed with me is like they are changing power play to work like the Targoid War was done, but better. How? Because the Targoid War is amazing. It's like
I know, that's what I was gonna say.
Progress. It depends on our actions. It's a lot of effort from everyone.
Well, because it feels like it matters. And so if they're making it in a way that it feels like something matters and that you actually can influence, you know, and you know it and you see it, that's different.
It's like the Targoid War, it was what Powerplay version 1 was supposed to be.
Wow.
But it isn't at the moment, and they're making the changes in that view. But because Powerplay is more complex than the Targoid War, they're probably having to deal with a lot of more problems and balancing to solve. And the Targoid War, it's like, it's us against an enemy. It's a special AI, and it's just one enemy. Powerplay, it's like 13 powers, and we will be fighting another commander. It's not AI.
That's true. That does change things quite a bit, doesn't it? Oh, I feel like it's going to be more aggressive. I'm just saying. I feel like things are going to get real aggressive.
That's my only concern right now. How aggressive it can be. Because right now things take a while to change in the Powerplay scenario. Like
Mhm.
most people open the Powerplay standing chart, and a lot of people doesn't even understand why they are presented in that order. Like, do you know why Ashley in the Val is third in the list
Why?
right now?
Uh-huh.
And why sometimes in certain weeks she changed to first?
Why? Grandma is always last taker.
So it's mainly three variables. It's how
Where'd my
much
page go?
command capital a power has, and
Well, that makes sense.
the command capital, it's like how much is special of this coins that a power has. And there are certain speculations that when we control a system that generate a certain revenue, and that means a certain number of command capital. Like if a system generates 17 trillion credits per day, that's like 1.7 command capital, and that can goes up with more and more spheres of commands. And that's why the order changes every week, because there are systems being prepared, fortified, and lost every week between the powers. And we need to vote, like every commander pledged to a power, we have voting power. And higher your standing with that power, more powerful your vote is. So let's say a commander with rating 5 vote for preparation, that could mean a 21%. Like, how can I explain this? It's not raw 21%, but it could mean that you can force your superpower to prepare a system that could cause loss to your power.
Okay.
So it's like a lot of layers to the
Ah,
Powerplay.
there's a lot. Dang it, I keep exiting out. I didn't mean to. I was looking at it. Because I don't hardly look at this because I don't know what's going on.
And everything that's happening in Powerplay, it's player base. We don't have a single action being taken by NPCs. Everything that's done, it's done by players.
I like that.
That's not
cool.
the case with the Targoid War.
No.
We're fighting AI. And I think the player base it's way more organized than the Targoids. Even though the AI is very good, the players are way more organized and smart than the Targoids.
Oh my gosh.
So that's why I think that they will not blend the two of them. I don't think the Targoids would become like a superpower.
Yeah, but what if the people that have been abducted by them form some sort of a group? Yeah, they might. No?
Yeah.
The pod people. What do you think? They're gonna that could happen.
That's some good speculation.
Hey, I'm making a whole new storyline. Nobody. Come on now, it could happen. Because they'll be like, okay, we're not really human anymore. What are we going to do? We need representation. See? I'm just saying. Tigger Bandit waifu for... Wait a minute, what? Waifu... the grandma? Let me...
Yeah.
Zemina. Most
I
of y'all like this.
Yeah, we're talking about the spire sites and something that we missed. I still think we missed something.
Really?
Really.
What? What is it?
Yeah, and that's the thing. And what makes me worried, it's like we don't know what we missed. And more important, if we missed something at the spire sites and the storyline is still moving forward with our actions, can we miss something again against the Titans?
What in the world? We've thought of everything. What can it be?
I don't know. Something's weird because even with the destruction of Taranis, the first Titan, the spire sites in the controlled systems
Yeah.
were still active.
I don't know. Are they?
Yes, they are. There are people fighting. Yeah, we have like a certain fracture in the AX community right now.
Yeah. What's that about?
These squadrons, yeah, some of these squadrons that do participate actively are not agreeing in what you do. So some people are working Oya, others are trying to control the mess around Indra because it's a lot of systems. And some of them are trying to flip the rest of the systems in Taranis. So it's like it's a division in what we should focus right now.
What do you think we should focus on?
I think we should clear Tarans first because we need the information about what would happen if we clear all the systems, especially with the spire sites being active right now.
Okay,
So
that's
we
what I
have
was
13
wondering.
systems.
Right.
Yeah. And that mess needs to be dealt with right now. We have no idea what could happen if we let them this way. But at least the good news is they don't spread like the systems that are currently controlled. They are not spreading.
That's what I was wondering because I couldn't remember if after Tyrannus fell, if there were still 13 systems. I mean, or if there were less than that and now there's more than that. So I was wondering if it was expanding or if it has always been 13.
Yeah, but just like real life politics, Elite Dangerous politics is a mess.
Of course.
And not everyone agrees with a lot of things. There are a lot of wars happening from BGS side of things to control certain regions and Powerplay stuff. And
man.
Targoid territory, it's like in the edge of those territories, and there are a lot of territories from the AX squads in the middle of it. So it's kind of a push from left to right, right to left in what we should do, what we should take over. But if I focus on Tarans right now, I could lose all my territory and my faction would be dissolved. And
too much going on.
It's a mess from a political view because it's a lot of things happening everywhere.
Well, that's why I kept thinking it seems like everybody, specifically because the Thargoids are such a huge threat to humanity, right? That it would seem like there would be like agreement that, hey, let's focus on this, guys. We need to take care of this Thargoid threat and then we can fight about the other stuff later. It just seems like it ought to be a thing because this, as the story goes, some say that the Thargoids, no matter what we're seeing right now, that they're just going to push through the bubble and push us out to Colonia. A lot of, that was a speculation at some point. Maybe that won't happen. I'm guessing it won't because we're dealing with the Titans right now. But shouldn't that be a focus, though, to focus on the Thargoid stuff? And not the petty bickering?
It should be.
But it's not.
Is, but just
not really.
Like real life politics, there are some fractures and
of course
not all priorities will align every week. So, for example, in the sense of the priorities, most of us are focusing on Oya, so we can take down all the controlled systems
Right.
and really start the attack, like in the Titan, just like we did with the Gong.
Right.
But it's like, remember that I said it's not everyone in the Elite Dangerous player base that do AX. It's like
Of course.
30%,
Right.
maybe a little less. And a lot of those peoples are taking a break. Some of them were burned out because of the intense Targoid fight over the last year. And a lot of people got back to BGS and doing other stuff, burned out from the Targoid War. So the number of people actually doing work against the Targoids are not a lot. Like, we have a lot of people participating in the community goal, but not everyone take time to work the systems, like collect samples, do real work that will actually take over a system.
Right.
And that takes time and money. And it's as hard as basic power play, and if you are doing that and not doing your faction BGS work or your power play BGS work, it means that your power play is losing systems while you are doing that. So, to cut a friend from my squadron, I am fighting for profit, I mean humanity, to help my princess conquer the galaxy. So that's basically what most AX pilots are doing right now, because we need the money for power play and BGS.
Oh my gosh.
Power play is mostly net negative activity. You only lose money, you don't make money. So it's like, we work in the Targoid War to make money, to work in the BGS, and back and forth.
A lot of work.
Yeah. And although the focus should be clear in Taranis, some people think that nothing will happen with those systems if you let them be.
I
Like,
wonder.
they will not spread.
I'm curious.
I am not so confident.
I'm not either, but what if we just left one of them? And just see what happens with one.
Like, one system?
Yeah. Like, just leave it there in the... Just let one of the Titans be there. What would happen?
They don't even agree in which Titan to focus. You want to to ask them to leave what?
You know which one. It's going to be the one that is so far away from the entry star that nobody wants to fly over there anyway. It'll be decided already because nobody's going to fly over there. Yeah?
Yeah.
It'll be that
It's
one.
going to be a pain.
That'll be the one. That'll be for science. We do that for science and leave it there. And see if it grows.
Least,
30,000
little-
light seconds.
yeah, it's a little over 30,000 light seconds.
Nobody's
That
going
one,
there.
It's going to be difficult.
Oh, wait a
Right
minute.
now,
The next drives can resist. Wait a minute. Hyper addictions? Ooh.
I heard
That's
something
something.
about that, and
Maybe you
My
can travel 30,000
Yeah.
light seconds really fast, too.
I don't think we would be able to avoid hyperdictions, but for the people that like
can-
lore, right now the Elite Dangerous that we are playing, it's Elite Dangerous 3. We have Elite Dangerous 1 in 1984 and Elite Dangerous 2 mid 90s, almost 2000. And in Elite 2, we could actually follow Targoids inside witch space and fight them there.
That's what I was going to say. Maybe it's something like that. Maybe we hyperdict them. I don't know.
I think it would be like a ECM kind of thing, where neither their frame shift drive would work properly, neither ours. So instead of we getting out in normal space, our frame shift drive, we force the hyperdiction to stop and will be out in which space, and the only way to leave would be fighting the interceptor that hyperdicted us. And that's kind of what happened in Elite 2, but a lot of the lore in Elite 2 was override by lore in Elite 3, so that might not happen.
Maybe not. I don't know. It's just fun to think. I guess it could happen. Okay, wait a minute. 100%. That's why I'm reading the chat real quick. Wait, hold on. I'm getting through it. I gotta read all the. Okay. 100%. That's why they made the CG. Okay, we talked about that. Wait for the Mama Titan. Tigger, what do you know? Is there another one even bigger? Roger says, that's not how politics works. You can spare your resources during the Axe War. Maybe you can take occasion to awaken in the... Oh, I get it. The Super Titans with hardened vents. Oh. Dave says, sorry, I was so tired. It's okay, Dave. You missed a planetary, though. Next drives can resist hyperdiction. Maybe. Would be useful indeed. G2 drives will be point to point. You know what I was wondering? I was wondering something like that. Wait a minute. Somebody said to hydrate. I've been drinking already a lot. Thank you. Hello, Daddy Novakino 7. Timer says, when can we sign up to your Powerplay Superpower Star? Oh my gosh. Coming this summer. I don't know. For carriers. Tigger says, Mojo says, I don't want to make Elite any less dangerous than it already is. Of course. Something birthed the Titans. Tigger. Wait a second.
I think they were built, although they are kinda organic in nature. Because of
like they look grown or something.
Yeah, because how Targoids work, like trees are not exactly born, they're grown, right? So, and they're still organic. We still consider them live things. A titan could be something close to a tree. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe something closer to a mushroom. So it's a thing that can grow.
Fungus.
Not exactly.
I was thinking weeds.
It should be birth.
Because if you look at the spires, look like weeds.
Yeah.
They remind me of weed, a stalk of a weed or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like something that I read. I think it was in canon lore. They said something about Targoids doing the first war against the Guardians using special spore weapons against the Guardians, and it was very effective. And that was the main line where Professor, I think his name was Andrew, something like that, in the storyline, and he developed the mycoid virus.
Oh, yeah.
Back then. So it's like they took the idea from the Targoids themselves, like they used spores against the Guardians, and we can use a virus against the Targoids, and that was the whole mycoid virus arc, basically, with Jameson and everything.
Right, with
So
Jameson,
if they
yeah.
use spores, I think they are probably more like mushrooms than other things.
You're fungus. You're just a fungus.
Yeah, it's funny to think, right? Like, because we always think of them like insects or something like that.
Yeah, but their ships could be fungus, but they might be they
Yeah.
might be flown by the insects, insect-like creatures, or something like that, right?
Yeah, it's possible, but it's not unknown that even here on Earth, insects can harvest and use fungus for their like basic needs. Ants do that. Ants grow fungus farms to eat. They don't eat plants. They use the plants to make fungus farms, most of them at least. And they can actually use fungus to defend their colonies against other insects, like wasps.
Well, isn't that the
So,
same? What am I thinking of? I was thinking of the thing that gets in. Oh no, I think it's a parasite where it takes
yeah,
over. I don't know why I'm thinking it was a fungus.
yeah.
It's a
It
parasite.
could, yeah, it could be that the targoids are insects that learn how to use fungus as a technology, and that's why their shape look kind of different from what would expect a species insect-like to have. Like their ships look like flowers and not like insects.
Right.
It kind of makes sense.
Well, we always call them bugs, but it looks like a flower. It doesn't look like a bug. But
Yeah.
but they have those
The
other
only
other parts, like you have the banshees now.
yeah, and the only class of targoids that kind of look like insects are the hunter class right now, the glaive and the scythe.
True.
Because nothing else looks like an insect.
That's true. I'm trying to think. The banshees and the other ones, I can't
The
think of what
revenants?
everything are. The revenants and what are they? The scavengers? What? No. What are they?
The scavengers, the little worker
Little.
guys that
Yeah, those.
walk
Okay.
around the targoid structures.
So all of those are kind of bug-like as well.
Is it?
But
Like,
I don't think it's not the same thing as what I think is probably piloting these Thargoid ships. That's not the same thing. Those are like they made some drones and stuff. You know what I'm saying? There were bugs walking around making drones. I don't know. I don't even know.
yeah, I'm really hyped to the idea to fight inside Witch Space.
Sure,
And
that'd be great.
from a more technical view of this, I think it's more likely than base building, because even though Elite Dangerous is made with Cobra Engine and they have used Cobra Engine to create games that have building in them, the Elite Dangerous version of Cobra Engine was a clean slate of the engine, and a lot of things were built over that, so we can have the game that we have now running. And it wasn't prepared in any instance or layer to handle base building. And on the other side, fighting in which space, it's doable, because the system jump that we do, it's pretty much a loading screen. It's a very cool loading screen.
Yeah.
But it is a loading screen.
That's the way I look
And-
at it. It's a loading screen.
Yeah, and if you are in the loading screen and instead of getting out in normal space, quotes here, we get out in which space, I think that's more feasible. The Cobra engine can do that instead of base building. And I'm hoping that's like the special feature that we're going to have. Be able to fight and explore with space.
Well, do you think though they would focus so much on that when we're talking about there's not that many people that fight Thargoids? Are you talking
Yeah.
about fighting just Thargoids in witch space, or are you talking about fighting anything in witch space?
Way more than that, because imagine that you are an explorer and somehow you find the Cossack Nebula in the galaxy map and you thought, oh cool, it's a cool nebula, let me visit. And little do this person knew that it's a Thargoid territory. So if you go to the Cossack Nebula, you can get hyperdicted.
Yeah.
And a new player or an explorer that it's not doing anti-Xeno combat goes to the Cossack Nebula and gets hyperdicted and gets stranded in the witch space. How would this person live? In theory,
that's
could
true.
do some exploration inside of it. So I hope it's not just combat, because in Elite 2 we can actually fly around for quite a while. And I assume you watched enough of Star Trek to know what's a Borg conduit.
I think so.
A Borg conduit in Star Trek, it's like those special tunnels in the galaxy that go to point A to point B. And in Elite 2, we'd have to find one of them to get out of witch space.
This is making me think of some other thing that I was reading. Isn't this... man, I feel like I've read something about that in the lore of this game. So that sort of makes me think you might be onto something there, because I was reading something about that. It was talking about a different way of space travel. So that makes me wonder, and it's supposed to like connect something. And it's not just like we jump from star to star. It was something else. I don't know.
Yeah, and
there's more to it.
Yeah, and some people were talking about like the Titans, the way they moved was like a special version of the Super Cruise. It wasn't exactly Super Cruise, but I don't think that if we are getting a new frameshift drive or hyperdrive, it will work like that, because the way the game works, we still need the loading screen to jump between system. It's like the moment that the game is loading the information that we need. So if we're going to point A to point B without a loading screen, how the game would handle that, especially in the case that the Titans were moving very, very fast, or maximum speed. Right now for Super Cruise, it's 2001 C. It's very fast, but it wasn't enough to keep up with the Titans at the time. A few commanders tried.
Oh my gosh, that's wild.
And the number was very weird. They were moving like at 0.4987 C, and that's very, very fast, moving normal space. But it still is low compared to our frameshift drive.
Curious. There's so much to think about. I don't even know. I can't even speculate anymore. It's just so many things. I don't know. This is gonna be wild. I guess we just wait and see.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Two things. I hope we can get better frameshift drives, because our combat ships are in dire need of them.
That's true.
Our best ships can jump like 20 light years. That's not good to move around in Thargoid war territory.
That's true.
More than that. At least
definitely.
50.
At least 50 would be great.
And if our combat ships can get 50, it would mean that our explorer ships could get, I don't know, 150.
100. Oh my gosh, I can't even, that changes,
would be
that
really
would
cool.
change everything.
Yeah. I'm hoping that the new ships are not just combat oriented.
I don't think it
The
is.
Python, yeah, the Python it is, because they kind of already said it. It's
They
for PvP.
said it. They said they made it so that, for the Powerplay thing,
Yeah,
so that it would make it easier for people, commanders to not get destroyed because, it takes a long time to get a good PvP ship and defend yourself and all that stuff. So that was the idea. But of course, it could be used for anything like they are now, like everything is now. You could use it however you want. But yeah, it was mainly made for that, I think.
and
But there's some special feature to it. And why it
yeah,
would need that for just PvP, I don't know. I don't think it would necessarily. I feel
maybe,
like there's more to it than that.
yeah, maybe it's a special feature because of the changes coming to Powerplay,
Maybe.
like the new state of the systems, the stronghold, and everything. Maybe we'll need that to actually do something about the new version of Powerplay. And the third thing I'm very hopeful is that we can actually learn concrete information about the targets, because everything that we have right now in the game come from not good sources, like special translations from Paling, stuff that we can actually verify from Ramta, some stuff way back, like old logs from attacked stations and settlements. And we know they are this very powerful species.
Mm-hmm.
We tried to kill them, we aka Salvation, and they got mad at us and throw the biggest ships that they have at us.
Well,
And
yeah.
we don't know much about them.
I know.
Like, we are fighting them, but we don't know almost anything important beside the fact that they are very hard to kill.
This is true. Well, I'm wondering all of the stuff that's around the Titan when it's destroyed. Like, I've gathered a few items, not much, but I'm wondering what is that going to be used for? Like, there's bone fragments. Bone fragments? Things like that. Cyst specimen, Titan deep tissue sample, things like that. What the heck are these going to be used for?
Yeah,
So there's
I
lots of materials floating around out there.
I haven't seen any chatter about those materials. Like, not even folks at Canon are worried about them right now. A lot of
Curious.
the focus is in the other materials, the Titan Drive component, the storyline, and
Seems like it ought to be useful for something. It wouldn't just be there for no reason, though.
yeah, it falls into the category of materials that are there to make the storyline rich, but not have a real purpose. I have seen that happen a lot of times in many games, and that is something that always kind of bugged me. Have you tried to scan a Targoid wake with the Frameshift wake scanner?
I have not.
Do you know you get 2 encoded materials from that?
Oh, I did not know that.
And one thing that changed, and it was very subtle, when you had the Xeno scanner, the OG one, if you scan the Targoid wake, it will show unknown origin for us.
Right.
After they released the enhanced Xeno scanner, we scan the target wake with the frame shift wake scanner, we get two materials. We get target wake data, and I don't remember what's the other one. It's been a while, but instead of showing for us a known origin, it says system and a bunch of characters that keep changing, just like the data panel.
Yeah.
Maybe we are getting a better scanner down the line so we can follow their wake. Because we can follow Commander's wakes. And to follow a target wake would need a better frame shift drive, because you know that they can jump very, very far. Like, I think it's a article in the Canon website about one of the target wakes they scanned, they kind of traced, used some data from something else, like the Medusa did 577 light years jump. Or something like that.
Oh my gosh. Commander Crunch, thank you for the 8 months. Holy cow. What do you mean? Oops.
Somebody.
Hello.
Commander_Crunch_16 rated my stream with 13 viewers.
What is going on? I hope you had a good stream. And hello, everyone. You didn't survive long enough to be able to scan a Thargoid wake? I don't know if I've ever tried. That's cool.
It's actually very cool experience. If you guys want to try that, I recommend going to Pleiades, because in the Pleiades you can get somewhat passive high predictions, and by passive I mean the Thargoid will put you out of hyperspace, space.
Thank you for following Mr. J07.
Sup, Crunch?
Yeah, this is Draznull's telling us a lot of stuff. We were talking about Powerplay, and now we're talking about Thargoid wakes having information.
Yeah, you can go to Pleiades. You can keep jumping between, I don't know, Maya and there's another system close by. And if you get the high prediction, it's usually passive high prediction in the Maya system, in the Pleiades Nebula. And in that place, you can wait for the Thargoid to scan your ship. And if you don't have any cargo, like any Guardian or Thargoid cargo, the interceptor will just leave.
Right.
It will leave a wake behind, so you can scan it. It's like a cool experiment to do and see what encoded mats you get. And there is there is no purpose for those mats in the game right now. We get them, but we don't use them for anything. So maybe that's the same situation with the other materials that we can get from the Titan debris. They're there to enrich the storyline, but they don't have a purpose right now. Maybe down the line. Yeah, you can go between Maya and Merope, those two systems. If you keep jumping between them, usually you get a high prediction.
There they are.
Most of that place is Thargoid controlled system. So just by jumping to Maya, you can get a high prediction. And that area is kinda close to Hip 2460, where all the war started. And I do recommend to be very careful near that system, because the Thargoids there are super aggressive. They will high predict you, usually a pair of interceptors, and they will immediately launch a not exactly pulse, but it can shut down your ship. The animation is a little different, a little lighter on the blue, It's pretty much the MP, but it feels different. Maybe it's because it just got pulled out of hyperspace.
I want to go over there.
And scan the target wake.
I want to
So many
go.
plans now, right?
Oh man, there's so much to do. I said
So yeah,
I don't know.
down the
I
line,
don't know.
I'm hyped for the Powerplay 2.0. They showed a lot of cool stuff. I have seen some people saying some harsh stuff about the live stream. I actually like it. They show little bits and pieces. They didn't tell much.
Mhm.
Luke explained what he could explain, and it's so many changes. And they are actually important changes. The hopeful side is maybe they can change the menu part,
Mhm.
so we don't have the menu simulator part to grab the the materials anymore.
I'm just anxious to see what it's like because if they're making Powerplay more accessible and easier for people to get involved in, then I think that would be I don't know, for me that just adds more more to the game because I haven't done it before. And so that might be
Yeah.
something I look into for sure. Guys, you have to stop giving me things to do.
Oh, just one more thing about Powerplay. When I said many layers, I wasn't kidding. Okay.
I believe that.
One of the layers for Powerplay and BGS work, it's to do the combat zones, the on foot CZs
Right.
in Odyssey, and those bonds actually count towards the faction that you are fighting for, and they count a lot. So if you want to cause trouble to someone, do that.
Oh gosh. I'll
Yeah,
probably-
like fighting in the combat zones actually count a lot for the BGS work, and you can make someone very mad by fighting a war to the wrong side in the wrong system.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to cause some trouble, go fight wars
Oh
in
my
the bubble.
goodness. Well,
And it's actually fun. Loot
I
game,
think it.
we
I-
can say it's like a capture the flag minigame, right?
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Man, it is true though. This could take up our whole lives. This could be our life. There's so much. But at the same time, it's just so rich. There's just so much. I mean, I don't know very many games that have this many layers to them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This place that you are showing right now,
That bright
HRP
sentinel is where I got blown up.
The cool explosion, it's still there in the planet.
I want to go
You can
there.
still see from space. It's really cool. But again, targets there are very angry.
Yes,
Be
yes,
careful.
I bet it's. Oh man, I remember when I woke up after, after all of that happened, and I was floating in space, and the Thargoids were everywhere, and ooh, that was scary. That was scary. Tyru will lead his life. Yeah. I mean, yeah, pretty much. I want to go here. I want to go and see this. I get a question. These two are still okay. I remember this one. I think it was this one. This planet was under permit lock. But
Do
now,
you guys know
why are these
why
two?
both of them are
Why?
permit lock? So the storyline was happening, and the first planet moon was permit lock because of the target structure that was being used by Salvation, and a sneaky commander from HAP 224610C managed to launch their SRV from that moon to
What?
the other one. That's
Really?
why Frontier
Oh, I
locked
wish I could have done that.
that.
Oh, man. Hello, Commander Sandog 07. And I hope you're doing well also. Thank you. Oh my gosh.
Didn't even know
Y'all.
the commander name.
Does it tell
It was
anywhere?
the Bald Eagle. He managed to launch his SRV from the surface of 10C to the other moon.
Oh, I wish I could have done
Avoiding the
that.
permit lock.
Ah. Wow, that's crazy. Wow, that is legendary indeed. That
Yeah.
is a legend.
That
Woo.
should be a award on Nara, and this is probably the only guy that would have it for a while.
Oh man, I would have loved to do that. Also, it has just a side note. It has a silicate vapor geysers there. I guess that wouldn't launch you, but you know, man, I wish I
I-
could have done that. Oh,
I don't know how they managed to do that. I don't know the specifics, but that's why both of them are permit
It
lock.
makes sense.
It's because you
'Cause I
can
would
launch
totally
one
try
SRV
it.
from the other.
I would totally try that if I knew it was possible. I would definitely go over there and do it. It's a good thing they locked it, I guess. Wow. I still want to go there. It doesn't matter.
First shell exploit, Crunch. Do you know what first shell exploit is? Target.
What is force shell exploit?
If you have a ship with a shield engineered, if I'm not mistaken, with kinetic resistance, and you land the ship, and you have another ship shooting cannons with force shell experimentals on it, it will accumulate kinetic energy on the shields of that ship landed, and because it's landed, it can't move. And if you bounce an SRV of that shield, all
What?
the kinetic energy would be applied on the SRV, and you will launch the SRV.
What? Holy cow, you guys know all these things I don't. I wish I'd known all of that. I would
I
have
hope
done
I
it.
explained that properly, but
I've got a
that's the
visual in
base.
my mind. Tigger, it says they're still permit locked. If
Yeah, they
I
are.
could, I would have gone over there. By golly, I would have tried it. Ghost Giraffe has the launch on his channel. Oh my gosh. Wow. That's so cool.
I need to say, the Elite Dangerous community, those guys are very creative to figure out how to use a shield to launch an SRV. It's like,
Oh my
damn
gosh.
guys.
I want to do stuff like that. I want to sit here and just think of something like that. That'd be cool. Man, I want to go there. I don't have time. You know what?
Go scan a Targoid Wake, it's fun. Go to Pleats, go to Maya, show them what a passive high prediction is.
Right now?
Everyone is so locked into the Targoid War. Most people haven't even seen a passive Targoid high prediction.
If I go
It's
over
actually fun.
here. Go over here. Can I put. Let's see. This place is packed full of all kinds of stuff. Maya is. Well, we could try it. Oya is going down. Oh, yeah. Commander Sorrow, that was a good explanation. Commander Orange Phoenix does that every month, Sunday, middle of the month. Oh? Really?
It's like a force shell launching meeting party. What?
What?
every Sunday.
Sir Rogue 07. How are you? I'm probably missing this one unless I pull myself away from reality in the next week. Which one? The Oya? Or you're talking about the every Sunday, middle of the month. Oh. Once a month on Sunday. How do I not know about these things? I have been away too long. Do I need to move the carrier over there by Maya and do a thing? Because we're just sitting here right now. Do I need to go over there? Let us consider all the excitement that could be had.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
I
It's already
think-
going to jump. I just didn't even click it and it said, let's go.
Do you have a frame shift wake scanner on your ship?
I think so. Let me look real quick while I'm at it. There's... Most likely I do.
If you have one, that's my leave then. I bothered you enough with Powerplay knowledge.
Are you
It's a lot of
leaving?
stuff to learn. Yeah, I need to leave now. I need to make coffee and do some errands.
And eat pizza? Don't tell me you're gonna eat pizza.
And leftover pizza.
Wow. So I'm gonna go figure out how to do a thing.
I was staying chat for a while, but I'm gonna leave.
Well, I
The vice chat.
appreciate you giving us all of that insight because I was confused about the power play thing. I didn't know how much difference there was going to be, and so that's going to be really cool. It'll be very cool. So thank you
Yeah,
so much.
You're welcome. I hope I answered some questions and make you guys at least a little hyped for the new Powerplay version.
I am. I mean, you've got me even more curious than I was already curious, but now it's like, I feel like it's going to get aggressive. I feel like it's going to get aggressive, but it's going to be in a fun way. You know what I mean? Like, we feel like we're doing
Yeah.
something. We're really doing something. Especially after the Thargoid, if we ever get it sorted out in any type of way. And even if you're not interested in Thargoids at all, there'll be the power play, and that'll be really cool. There'll be even more stuff to do. I think it's awesome.
I hope that they can change how much it costs to get involved. That
I
would
bet
be
they will
nice.
because they said they
expensive.
want to make it. Hey, if they want new people to be getting involved in a lot of this stuff, you got to make it slightly easier. Slightly easier. And I think they will. And
Yeah,
I don't know.
one can hope, right? One can hope.
We got to keep it alive. The game's got to stay alive. In order to do all of these things, you got to make it easier for people to get involved in it or they're going to walk away. So I think that would be really cool. It's one thing to make things already challenging, which I do like that there are things that are challenging for sure. But to even get your foot in the door and to get involved at all, it needs to probably be more easier. Just a little bit, Make it
Yeah.
where people can get involved and would be interested in it and come into the game new and feel like they can do something, Everything doesn't need to have such a already massive learning curve, yeah, but not so massive that it makes people not want to get involved at all. So I think it was just make it better. Just make it better. So I don't know.
I'm hyped, and I hope
Exciting.
the changes actually help new commanders understand how Powerplay works in
That's what I hope
a
too.
easier and faster way.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, thanks for having me.
Thank you. I
Hope
appreciate
you have a
it.
good stream. The
Thank
rest
you,
of the
sir.
stream.
Thank you. No, I'm gonna. Oh no, I'm going to Maya. Dang it.
Bye.